Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is wide receiver one from my Tigers. I'm not wearing my hat for once. I've left it in my car. Um, Probably should have thought about that, but beyond blessed to get this guy on because, man, if you need a big time receiver to get you big time yardage, this is the man you need to go to now with Eastern Michigan getting to live out his dream at the Division I level where he's going to be scoring some more touchdowns in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, 6'3" wide receiver, JT Beasley. What's going on, JT?
What's going on, man?
Hey, excited to get you on. I've had obviously a lot of your teammates on already, as you've seen. Definitely wanted to get you on after the season that you had, an all conference caliber season where you were able to help lead the Tigers to new heights, especially in the passing game. And we're going to cover all of that during this interview. But before we hop into the questions, I want fans, viewers that are just now getting to learn your name, to learn some of these accolades to your name, what you've been able to do in your young career so far in a quick segment that I like to call Resume Rundown. Going to show off what you do best by doing what I do best. And as you know, that's making some graphics. So show off a nice little graphic here where, I mean, this resume already, you were two-time all-conference selection in the MACCC in your JUCO conference. 2024, you were an honorable mention as a freshman, showcasing what you could do. And then 2025, you were able to be second team all-conference there. And then getting offers after offers, some of the top FCS teams like Prairie View A&M, UT Martin, Western Illinois, and then of course getting those FBS offers like Western Kentucky and obviously Eastern Michigan where you're at, where these coaches were realizing what you could do. And obviously now you're with Eastern Michigan doing what you do best. And I want to ask you real quick, going into your sophomore season with Northeast, obviously you're coming off of that all conference honorable mention season, but your season was cut a little bit short because of an injury. I know you had some kind of shoulder injury from what I heard. How would you say you entered your sophomore season knowing, okay, this is what I was doing before my injury? Obviously, everybody, when they go through that injury, it's in the back of their mind a little bit because they obviously don't want to get hurt again so they can continue to be on the field and produce. How did you really enter that sophomore season to be wide receiver number one?
Well, I just put in like a lot of hard work coming through like therapy and rehab and doing stuff like that. So I knew like once I got back on the field, I was fully confident. I was ready to go. I was really just ready to make plays, excited to be back on the field.
Yeah, definitely made a lot of plays, and we'll touch on that in a segment here in a little while. But this Northeast team had a great veteran presence. I mean, obviously yourself there, Jeremiah Harrell returning as QB1. You guys had a great offensive line, including Alfred Washington, who's now at Illinois, JT Fagan, who signed with Marshall. I mean, guys that came back from a year ago that have experience in this system. Makyree Jones, another wide receiver who was a big play guy like yourself, and Jeremiah Augustin, 6'5", massive dude that's going to dominate at the next level as well. And that's just the offense. Defense, a whole lot of returners also. And obviously, you guys saw the success that you were all able to have. Talk to me real quick about the veteran mindset, the experience factor for all of these sophomore returners to help these, the young freshmen that were also able to make an impact, and how that led to this success that you guys had overall.
Well, that was something like far as like our freshman class coming in, we didn't really have that. So like we came in, the sophomores didn't have a lot of experience. So that was like something like we was like when these freshmen come in, like we need to show them how things be done, show them the culture, show them just how like just show them the way that like of a Northeast Tiger, basically just show them in the way and just what I'm saying, making that close bond, that family bond, and just like being together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys have some guys that were freshmen this past year already receiving some offers. I know Christian Mays on the D line. He's got a bunch of D1 offers. Shout out to Charles Stevenson. He just got offered by UNA, I believe. So obviously, you guys were able to make an impact on these younger guys. And you yourself, you saw what the passing offense was like your freshman year. I know you guys were mainly run oriented from what I saw. But then this past year, started off where, the run game was kind of the primary factor, but developed that passing game a lot, especially with the receivers overall, including yourself. You yourself, you had a pair of 100+ yard games there towards the end, where you had 123 yards and a tutty against East Mississippi, 107 yards and a tutty against Copiah Lincoln, who was one of the top teams in the country. Also had a big time touchdown against Northwest Mississippi. Nice little rivalry game there, one of the top teams in the country, and finished the season overall with 437 receiving yards, three touchdowns, 26 receptions. but a lot of those receptions, like I said, came there towards the end of the season. Talk to me real quick about the development, not just in the passing game overall, but in your game from the start of the season to the end.
Well, like I say more the start of the season to the end of the season, it just became more of a timing thing, with Jeremiah Hurd. It just became more of a timing thing, and like we just had to start like staying after practice and like working on certain routes and certain timing from like routes that we missed earlier in the season, and then we started clicking on those routes later on in the season because of timing things, like us working together and finding that timing. So like, I just say it just came with like us, just like I mean, the more games you played, like the more less mistakes you make. And so like it just became like a thing like rep and rep and rep. Like we just started repping those things and things just started clicking.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you guys definitely were clicking there towards the end to where you could put up those touchdowns, those big time highlights, big time catches. And now we get to what I feel like is everyone's favorite segment when I get them on from the Tigers called Make That Play, where I'm going to show off your highlights, show off what you did this past season. And I put together what I feel like were your top three plays from this past season. But obviously, as you well know, I'm just the stats guy. I'm just the guy cheering you on from the sideline, the stands, wherever. You're the one on the field actually doing what you do best. So, what would you say was your best play from this past season?
I would say my best play from the past season probably would be that East Mississippi catch. I would say just because I didn't give up on the play and I stayed like I made the catch and I kept running. So I would say that would be my best. And then another one, I would say probably the touchdown against Colin and Northwest, those are both schemed up kind of things. So I would just say another good play I made, probably the Colin play, the fake block, and then get past the safety. So one of those two would be my top. I don't really, you know.
Hey, well, obviously, I love it when you guys put points on the board. So all three of those touchdowns are in my top three. And yeah, I gotta agree with you. East Mississippi, obviously, that's gotta be number one, 95-yard touchdown. But we'll get into that here in a sec, because I'm gonna start off at number three, which is that Northwest Mississippi game where credit to your guys' offense coordinator, schemed that up perfectly, knew what the defense was gonna end up doing for them. And you hit a nice little quick slant, juked out the defender, got into open space. Jer managed to hit you right there wide open in the end zone, 4 6 points on the board there. So that one I have at number three. Number two is that Kapaya Lincoln one, 40-yard receiving touchdown there, where you guys have been running kind of like a little that kind of play in different sets here and there, having blocking, dumping it off a little bit, and then you end up going down deep, getting past the safety. Your guys' quarterback, Jeremiah Harrell, faked that dump off perfectly, brought the defense up. Linebackers came up, safety came up. You went downfield. He hit you perfectly for a big time touchdown against a big time defense. Credit to the Wolves. They were great, but you showed them that you were better. Number one, East Mississippi, 95-yard receiving touchdown, where I believe this was Caden Greer, actually, your guys' backup. Jeremiah Harrell had been dealing with some illness. Caden Greer stepped up big time there. He scrambled out, hit you on the sideline, where you were actually kind of being tackled before the ball even got to you. They tried to call a flag on it, said that you were out of bounds, but you actually were in bounds perfectly, stayed in lines, and bobbed the ball a little bit because obviously you were trying to get out of that tackle attempt, caught it, shoved the guy off you, went down the field, just turned on the Jets 95 yards to where you were able to get into the end zone, put points on the board there against a very tough East Mississippi team. So obviously you were able to make a whole lot of plays. This receiving core as a whole, I mean, I mentioned Charles Stevenson, who was in his freshman year. He had a couple touchdowns on the season. Makyree Jones was a huge deep threat for you guys. And Quay Middlebrooks, as a running back, he was a dominant receiving threat as well in that little dump off game for Jeremiah Harrell. So, a very balanced group of receiving options for this offense. What made this group so effective overall? Because obviously, you all bring different factors to it. You and Mackay and Jeremiah Augustin, all of you guys have different factors that contribute to this offense. How would you describe that to make this offense so elite?
I'll say what made our offense so elite is like anybody on that field can make a play at any time. And like you named a lot of those guys, Zay Cobbs, Charles, Makai, Jeremiah, Quaid. But then you could even go down and say Kelvin Doobie Walker. You could even say like he could come up and make a play. You could like we just had a lot of different weapons and like, it's only one football. So like I mean all of us like but if all of us could have got the chance to be our best man, we would have been nasty. Only if we had about three more games. Yeah, it would have been crazy. But like I'll say all of us, I mean, like when we got the ball, we just did what we needed to do, made the play. And that's just what happened when guys make plays. You just have a lot of different guys that can make plays. So like everybody can't make a play every game. So yeah, I just say we all just made plays.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Quay Middlebrooks was also an all-conference guy. We didn't even shout out Brooks Wallace, tight end. Great job by him. He was a second team all-conference dude for you guys. So you had a lot of talent on this offense overall. And you guys, you especially, obviously being a sophomore, you saw what your freshman season brought. Obviously, it wasn't the season you guys wanted it to be, 3-6 overall on the 2024 season. But you guys coming into 2025 and you guys go 5-4 overall. But I mean, arguably one of, if not the toughest conference in JUCO football, with who you guys were able to go against and still stay close with. Went 3-3 in your guys' division, beat Kahoma 45-7 at home, beat Southwest 35-21 on the road, and then obviously got to mention the rivalry win over Itawamba 41-14, where you guys were partying afterwards. Definitely had some great celebration clips after that. And you guys started off the season with a 3-0 win streak, taking down East Central, Southwest, and Mississippi Delta, to where you guys were able to kind of find that rhythm. Talk to me real quick about this season overall. We talked about the offense. Obviously the run game was great. The passing game obviously had the improvements. You guys actually averaged nearly 30 points per game as an offense. So talk to me real quick about this season overall and kind of what went into that to be able to have a winning season and show people that the Tigers mean business.
Well, I would just say this started all the way in the spring. Back in the spring, in the spring we was a gritty team, a real gritty, nasty team. Like every single practice, like somebody going after somebody, somebody getting after somebody. And I wasn't practicing in the spring, but I mean my energy was there. I enjoy watching the guys go to practice, go to work, and like our team chemistry was great. Like we all like everybody loved one another. Everybody was brothers. And I feel like it just carried into summer when the new guys came in. They fit right in. They gel right in with us. And then, going into fall camp, we competed with the defense. I think we had the best defense in JUCO. You ask me, like all around the board, we overall our defense was great. I mean, you look at the D line, the linebackers, the secondary. I mean, everybody competed. O line and D line competed every day. Our linebackers and Quay, they went at it every single day. Me, Juju Parker, all the corners, we all went at it. Like so like we made each other better in camp. And like that just made like that just I just had like trust in those guys. Like I know like when I come out the field, I can trust that defense to go out there and get that stop so we can come back and score. And you say like we went 5-4, but like we was 2 plays away from being a 7-2 football team. Like 2 plays away. Like, we don't make a mistake there at the end of the Northwest game, we win that game. You don't make another mental mistake at the end of East Mississippi game, we win that game. So we was 2 plays away from, being in the playoffs. So like I say our record didn't show how good of a team we was, but we was a lot better. And we had like our team, as far as on the inside, we was close. We had great coaches. Our coaches was close. We just had no. It was just a perfect season. Just two plays went wrong, and so yeah.
Hey, I mean, you beat me to it right there. I was going to mention that as well. Going against Northwest Mississippi, who made it to the national playoffs. You guys were one play away. You guys were up a majority of that game. Just a couple things went wrong, and unfortunately, it was just a one-score game there. And then obviously, East Mississippi was decided by, I believe, a field goal where you guys were actually down and had, I believe, 12 straight points, got a 2-point conversion, all that stuff, and just a mislapse on special teams where, unfortunately they were able to get the ball back, get a field goal off, win the game. But you guys overall, you mentioned that defense, and obviously we've talked about the offense where they've signed. You guys have so many Division One signees from this team. All of the linebackers, a good chunk of the defensive line. Obviously, yourself, Makai, Harold, Quay. I mean, everybody, the entire offensive line as well went D1. Talk to me real quick about this Northeast program, what head coach Greg Davis has been able to do to not only help you guys win on the field, but be able to grow as players to where you can go on to that next level.
But I just feel like all of those coaches, like all of our coaches, they're great people, and like they want you to be great people, and so like they push you hard. Like all of our coaches are great coaches. They're gonna coach hard, and like so like all of our coaches just got the best out of us because they were great coaches and they were great people, and we trusted them. So like if like like Coach Cannon coaching the linebackers, he getting the best out of those linebackers because they trust him, like they believe in him, and like the wide receivers with us with Coach Cole, like we trusted in what Coach Cole was coaching us, like we trusted in it, so we believed in him, so we poured our all into him. Or same with the O line with Coach Davis, they love him. O line and Coach Davis, that's like the tightest coach and player relationship I had ever seen. Like he loved those guys and those guys loved him, so they played their heart off of him, and it just like. And so like it just kind of came into like a team thing, like all of the positions playing their heart out for their coaches. So like, I feel like that's just how our coaching staff was. They loved us, we loved them, and they just did a great job at what they're doing. They taught us great football, like we like taught us the game, like because like coming in from high school to a JUCO, you don't really know the game of football. Like obviously football, but like football goes so much deeper than what you know after high school, and like I feel like they did a great job at teaching us the game, and just teaching us and helping our craft, and we all just got better.
Hey, obviously, they were able to do whatever they could to help you guys, and you guys put in that work to get to that next level. You yourself, obviously, being at Eastern Michigan now, FBS level in a very tough MAC conference, where a season ago, Eastern Michigan had some struggles, 4-8 overall record, 3-5 in MAC action, but I believe they're going through a quarterback change now. I believe their quarterback graduated. That was QB1 from last
We
year.
came back. Noah Kim's back.
He is back. Okay, I never know with eligibility anymore.
He got whatever year he's in. He's old, but like he got his year, and so he's gonna be playing with us this year. We excited. He's a great quarterback.
Hey, yeah, I saw him go. I have a lot of guys from the MAC conference on the podcast every year, so I tune into the MAC. He did a great job throughout the season overall. I mean, the record didn't show, but I mean, he's a very talented quarterback. Would love to get him on the podcast too if he's watching this, by the way. But I mean, as for you, you're looking to be wide receiver number one for him. You're looking to be a dominant threat downfield for him and be able to help out this offense however you can. Talking real quick about your decision to go to Eastern Michigan, what really went into it, and how do you feel like you can blend into their offensive scheme?
But see, I think like so like going into Northeast, I kind of wasn't I was kind of like I had no idea really what to look for in the recruiting process. And so like going to Northeast, like I knew like so when I was getting recruited by Northeast, like, those coaches always kept it real. Like it was never no it wasn't no like, yeah, you're gonna get this, this, and this. It was always like honest, like you're gonna come here, you're gonna have to work for what you get. And like I just feel like when Eastern Michigan recruited me, it was kind of like deja vu. I'm like, this is kind of like the same process like I was going through. Like Eastern Michigan, they're telling me like they're just telling me like they're being real, they're keeping it straight up, and they're telling me they want great people in their program, and like that's something I aspire myself to be around great people because when you be around great people, you become a great person yourself. And so like that's the kind of program Coach Creighton runs here. He likes great people, and Eastern Michigan had a lot of production leaving. And that was a big part of me because the same thing with Northeast when I was going to Northeast, all the production was leaving. So I was like, yeah, like it's gonna be even playing fields. Like I'm gonna have to work my way up, get on the field. So like, I just feel like that was another thing. Like they had a lot of production leaving. So I was like I got a great chance to get on the field, and also it's just a great culture. Like Coach Creighton's he's like especially in today's era of college football. Coach Creighton's been here 12, 13 years. I think he's the longest tenure college football coach in the nation. And I think that's like a big thing because like job security is like so important because like if the coaches leave, then I got no job. So like yeah, I just feel like they just played a good part into me. And when I came on my OV, man, it was just like everything just felt right. They like loved on me hard. We talked about all the right things. They got me in the playbook. They was telling me where they seen me in the playbook, and I feel like that's important as a recruit because like you want to see where you will be in that program. So I just feel like, and then towards the end of the OV, like you just get that feeling that it's right, and I just had that feeling, so that's why I decided.
Hey, there you go, man. Obviously, going to be playing alongside a great quarterback, great talent, other great receivers that they're bringing in or that are returning for this Eastern Michigan program. And obviously, you got to play alongside a lot of great talent at Northeast, as I mentioned before. And I want to give you a chance to shout out some of your old teammates, new teammates, whoever, in a segment that I like to call Who's Up Next, where you get to recommend some guys I get to have on the podcast, take a look at their numbers, get them to talk about their careers, their stories, just as you're doing now. So, who would you say, whether it's from Eastern Michigan or even some guys that are still on the rise at Northeast coming back, where you feel like they should hop on the podcast and tell their story?
Yeah, I say Antonio Juju Parker, number 0. Kobe Owens, he was there my freshman year. He went one and done, and he went to Georgia State after our freshman year. And Kelvin Doobie Walker. It's a lot of guys, JL Bowling, all those guys that are still there, man, that played with me last year. Should definitely get those guys on.
Hey, they trust me. I've already talked to a lot of them. They know that when they end up wrapping up their career at Northeast, they always have a spot on the podcast, always got a spot for the Tigers. Like I said when I introduced you, usually I have the Northeast hat on. I left it in my car today, but always got to support the Tigers, got to support the JUCO ranks, guys that are having that grit and grind mentality to get better, to get to that next level, just as you have done throughout your career. And now you're looking to go into 2026 as wide receiver one for this team, to where you guys can go off, win a MAC championship, be one of these top tier offenses in the entire conference. How are you really attacking this offseason, this spring training part of the season that you're in right now, spring ball, to where you can go into next season the best version of yourself?
Really just being consistent, being my best every day, bringing my best. I'm still learning the playbook. I'm still learning, and so like, I feel like the main thing with still learning is I just gotta stay comfortable and stay poised and just play and just be consistent. Just give my best, and I feel like once fall camp comes around towards the end of fall camp, I feel like I'll have myself in a pretty good spot if I do what I need to do.
Hey, there you go. If I know one thing about JT Beasley, you got that work ethic, man. I know you're going to go off there, be on the field for Eastern Michigan next season, and we're going to be tuning in to you getting some big time touchdowns next year in 2026 and holding up a trophy at the end of the year, man. Can't wait to see what this upcoming season has in store for you and throughout the rest of your career, being able to go off and do what you do, always putting in that work, man. Beyond blessed to get wide receiver number one from the Tigers this past season on the podcast. Obviously, a whole lot of guys from Northeast on this podcast able to help make it what it is. And it's thanks to guys like yourself, man. So thank you so much for hopping on the podcast.
Thank you, man.